All right, so I just came outside to check on the new guy. Um, we still haven't quite settled on a name here, but I wanted to see how he was settling in and see if he's okay with me being out here now that he's had something of a break-in period. And I'm pretty close. I can't quite touch him, but he doesn't seem to be alarmed at all. He did not want to be captured so that we could take him home, but it doesn't seem like he's got a big problem with me if I'm just sitting down here, which is kind of something I wanted to know because I didn't know if my muscovies were special somehow, because I did get them all in one bunch, and we did raise them from babies, which is quite different than picking up an adult like this. I do not think that they were pets where they were at. I think they were, just basically a hatchery, and so I don't imagine that they had a lot of human contact in the type that a pet would receive. Maybe more like livestock, which is probably how these guys are supposed to be kind of handled, since I'm pretty sure that that's what people raise them for. But out here, we're not really keeping them for meat or eggs. They're just adding to that bug and weed guard. So it's similar, but it's not the same thing. So we think of them more as pets and useful working animals rather than for selling to other people or eating. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just I didn't know if he would settle into doing that like ours did. And it seems like muscovies are just a very calm, docile, friendly animal. And I mean, me saying it and possibly you never seeing them, that doesn't seem to be out of the ordinary, but it actually kind of is. These guys are not what I would generally consider as a domesticated animal. They shouldn't. I don't think they've been. That's not been the goal of their breeding. I think they're bred for being large and quite meaty birds. So whether or not they're friendly is of no concern to anybody, really. But they seem to be. I mean, even my goats, which are, domesticated for the last 10,000 years, are not super friendly. I had to sit with Meep for about 2 weeks in a small cage, hand feeding her individual pieces of corn before she decided that it was okay if I was relatively near her, and she's absolutely domesticated. This guy here, there's no cage between us, and here's my knee. He's just friendly. They're just a really docile bird, and they're quite likely to just kind of walk up to you. And it's very weird that that's a thing. I mean, there's not many animals you can just walk up to, and for one to not be like a fully domesticated animal, it's really weird. I mean, these guys, they have the potential, especially in warm regions, to escape a farm and just kind of set up shop in the wild, and they have no problems doing that. And I mean, if my dog decided to do that, pretty good chance that they wouldn't make it. It would starve to death, completely incapable of catching food. But the muscovies are definitely not. And goats more or less can do the same thing, but they get weeded out by predators extremely quickly, unless they're on an island somewhere, which is also a thing. Yeah, you guys are invasive introduced species in most habitats. Yes, but the kind that you guys are, you can find food, but you cannot escape predators for shit. But yeah, muscovies, on the other hand, they are pretty good. I mean, they can fly. They're pretty good at making more muscovies. My goats aren't that good at making more goats, which is kind of surprising. So it's kind of interesting that they're so docile. How about this, muscovy? Can I touch you? Let's see if I can touch the muscovy. Oh. Can I give you some pets? Nope, we draw the line there. Do not reach for me. Well, that's probably pretty normal. I'm a big unknown, and in both meanings of the word big, huh? You know, as you can see, he's got his talons. These guys have some pretty wicked claws, especially for something that's basically a duck or a goose. It's a little bit weird. Yep, we're just gonna, oh wait, nope, we're not gonna lay down. Is that not a comfortable spot? Is your tail feathers touching something? Just notice that fence has got a big gap. Probably big enough for the chickens to leave. Oh, muscovy stretch. Yeah. Yep. How we doing, goats? Yeah. It's about 63 degrees out here, but the sun beating on my back is not an amazing feeling. Well, let's see. I did pin up some chickens in here. They were in here, and I had left the gate open so that if anybody wants to come out and check out the pasture plants that we have growing in here, could do so. But my gosh, have they not so much eat them, but pack them into the ground. They're probably not going to make it. Although that could be the fact that we didn't get rain today, and we've been getting rain. Yeah, we put a little water in that black dish for him until he can get out and get the water that we have for the rest of the birds, which is on a drip system. They interact with a piece of metal that basically is a hamster waterer, but it works off of a plumbing system. So they have infinite clean drinking water, although it is a little bit more difficult to get a hold of than the water we've left in this bucket here. You have to work at it for a while to get the water you want. We're going to have to make sure that he's seeing that that's how everybody else is getting their water. I try not to leave standing water around out here. We've got some poisonous, or toxic rather, frogs and toads. Plus, whenever you get those, even if they're not the toxic variety, which we have some that aren't, you generally get snakes. So we had a back patio buddy. It was a pretty good sized frog. And one day he disappeared. And later that day, after lamenting the loss of our backyard buddy, a snake couldn't make it through my fence. It was up against my patio. I actually got a video of me rescuing it. But he'd eaten the frog and was now too fat to fit through the slats in the fence. So I had to let him out. Although it was really sad, wasn't it? Oh, my front yard buddy just got barked at. So I've got some squirrels that I leave a little bit of corn out whenever I feed the birds. And it drives the German Shepherds nuts. They feel like they maybe could catch the squirrel. But I think they kind of realize they can't catch the bunnies that we have out here. But the squirrels, they think they can. I think it's more likely that you guys would catch a rabbit, because it might make a mistake and then you can catch it, but the squirrel's just going to go straight up a tree. And you guys cannot climb trees very good, can you? So I've got some muscovies that are keeping an eye on. We're going to call you Darkwing in the interim. How's that sound, buddy? You can be Darkwing Duck. I really like the colors on him. So this is more of what people generally think of with muscovies, I think. They had some that had almost no white, and I would have really liked those, but I don't think you can go wrong with muscovies. I don't know what it is about them, but we have a lot of animals that I don't know, I don't think I'm very good at raising, trying to get better here, but muscovies are not one of them. They are basically idiot-proof, huh, muscovy? They can usually fly pretty good, they hang around the house, and they're large and robust creatures, so they don't really have predators out here. We have some hawks and stuff, but I don't think that they are after the muscovies. They just get so big, they hang out in very dense groups, and then we have the dogs. And the dogs have been 100% trustworthy with muscovies too. I can trust them with birds. I cannot trust them with goats. Actually, I can't trust them with chicks either. I had one escape and it became a snack. I am still not 100% sure how the dang thing escaped. But, yeah, we had a Brahma chick get eaten by this dog. And that was 2 years ago? Was it 2 years? I think it was about 2 years ago. So you have to keep babies away from, well, at least my dogs. But, I mean, we've got very, very small, but not necessarily chick birds. And there's one running around here somewhere, and they're not food. I think that was just maybe we didn't know what it was and we attacked it. But that was sad. But we haven't had any problems since. And that's probably so long ago I should stop being upset about it, huh? It was a long time ago. And now we have these guys. In fact, I think I let the muscovies out at a very early age. Almost immediately after we got them. And they were still yellow. And they were allowed out for a little bit of time each day until I just didn't put them back up. They got big very quickly, though. That's kind of a muscovy thing as well. Yep. But, yeah. I think this one, even though he's the same size as Chunga, I think he is capable of flight. Once his feathers grow back, I think he'll be able to fly. And we'll see if his feathers can stay pretty like that. Until then, Chungas have kind of gotten to the point where they're not very well upkept. I don't know what is causing that in my birds. I don't know if it's the filthy water in my fountain that I can't seem to get rid of, no matter how many holes I drill. But I don't think that's the case, because the females are just fine. All of them are just fine, but not the males. Could just be feather pulling too, because the males tend to get kind of aggressive. I think we might be fitting in just fine. He's going to stay in there for at least the rest of today, though. I don't want to have any problems. Yeah, that's pretty funny, though. Well, that's a good note we can end on. Tail wagging and muscovy purring. I don't know how easy it is to hear, but they purr at each other. It's very funny. Although I think it's actually a threat display. Or mating related. Yeah. What are you eating there, new muscovy? Oh, it was an acorn. Wait, no. There's no oak trees around here. Is there? Yeah, that might have been a seed pod from this thing. Good thing he spit it out. I don't think any of my animals can actually eat those. Alright, well, still, you be good. You've got plenty of food. I gave you a ton of corn. Okay, we're going to go ahead and eat that again. Whatever.